Hey everyone, today I'm going to do a review of Rurouni Kenshin. Basically, that's Kenshin. And he was originally a Hitoroki Batosai, or a manslayer, for the Japanese Revolution to bring about the Meiji era. And he was famous for being like one of the best swordsmen known in history. And then one day he vanishes straight, just before the revolution is completed, he vanishes. The manga starts 10 years into the Meiji, where he is no longer a manslayer. He's a Ronin, i.e. he's a wanderer that helps people, basically. The basic plotline of the manga is, it's Kenshin trying to redeem himself for the sins of his past. And it just follows Kenshin's story about how he's trying to make up for all the people he's killed. Now, the main characters are Kenshin, obviously. You have Kaoru, who basically, she owns the dojo, and Kenshin helps her to save the dojo and then decides to stay with her for a bit. And there's a romance. I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a romancy thing going on there. Whether it happens, where it happens, you find out at the end. I'm not going to say anything. We then have Yahiko, with this guy here, and he was a pickpocket who was in a gang, and he was forced to be in a gang, and Kenshin saves him, and he decides to try and get stronger, so he does, as much as possible. And you have Sanosuke, which is this guy here. And Sanosuke used to be part of another branch of the Revolutionary Army that was betrayed, so he absolutely hates all revolutionaries, but then he meets Kenshin, and he's like, Kenshin says to him, the revolution's not completed, you have to try and complete it now by improving yourself and improving people's lives around you. So he basically ends up, with them, though he doesn't live with them, but he's always there and he's always stealing their food. And finally you have, Megumi. And Megumi here she's a doctor that basically, she was forced to make opium, and then Kenshin saves her, and then she becomes a proper doctor. She comes from a whole family of doctors, and basically she's becoming a doctor to save her sins. Right. The fights in this are awesome. I love the fights in here. They are so well done, and the art's actually really good as well, in my opinion. I mean, look at that. How can you not like that? That's just epic. Now, Kenshin styles the Heat and Mitsurugi, which is meant to be really famous for speed, and they're very analytical, these battles. They're not like Naruto, where, they do crazy stuff. Though there are some more crazy characters, but it's more analytical theory, like pushing things beyond limit, like speed, strength, handling heat, rather than a Rasengan, which is just chakra. Other things I really like about this manga are the pacing. The pacing's really, really good in the sense of you don't seem to think it's going really, really fast, but it keeps you very, very entertained. But it seems to go slow enough that you go, oh look, I'm feeling for these characters. I think sometimes in manga, films, anime, and books, if the pacing's really quick, you don't get attached to the characters enough, so you don't feel that connection with the characters. Though obviously, this pacing's very, very good. Another thing is, it is absolutely hilarious. There are so many, really, there's just a point. It's so funny, even though, it's got quite a serious plot, obviously, but it's just really funny. There's a lot of, really stupid, funny moments in it, where that just makes me laugh my head off, so I think that's really, really good about it. It's got a really good ending. Obviously, I'm not going to say the ending because it'll spoil it, but it seems to have a very, curved, I'm happy, well-settled, happy ending, which I think is really, really good. Like I said before, I think the art's quite good. Yeah, I like the art. I especially like Kenshin. I think he's, really funny and really cute. There, as you can see him, his eyes are, more, happy. There's happy Kenshin, and then you have, oh my god, look, there's serious Kenshin. And he seems to have, a split personality type thing. And he's always fighting with that split personality between him being the Batosai and him being the Ronin, which makes it really, really good. The character development in this is really, really good. There's not, one character that seems to be left behind. Every character seems to have a lot of development. it's not just Kenshin by the end of it that you see grown up and matured. You see everybody from Yahiko, who, as I said before, is... Sorry. Who's like, this guy goes from, like, he's trying to get stronger, he's trying to be like Kenshin and stronger, and he eventually gets really, really strong, and you see how he goes from Sanosuke, who, as I said to you before, from Sanosuke, who clearly tries to get himself not only stronger, but also tries to make himself a better person, as in, I'm going to go and do something about the revolution. I'm not going to sit there and just moan and be a fighter for hire, because things didn't go my way. I'm going to do something to achieve it. To Megumi, who, to make up for the fact that she did sell opium, she spends, like, the rest of the book trying to be a really good doctor for the poor and stuff. To obviously Kenshin, because, like, I'm not going to spoil it, but yeah, obviously he has his own demons to fight. And there's, like, such a really good strong cast of characters. I think one of the great things about this is, like, even the villains, you don't feel... I mean, obviously, you want Kenshin to beat them, but you can see where they're coming from. It's not one of those things where it's, like, good and evil. There's a lot of a grey area in between. And with a lot of the villains, you could see how Kenshin could have ended up like them, so it makes you feel more, Kenshin could have been like that. So, it makes you more understanding. I think that's the word. You're more understanding with the villains. And I also think there's that massive philosophical debate in this manga of where, A, what is good and bad? Would you consider Kenshin a good man or a bad man because he's trying to repent? B, what can you do to repent? Whether repentance is ever achievable. Like, whether, if you've done something really, really bad, is it possible for you to make up for it? Like, and you'll see. The manga is way better than the anime. I mean, if you've seen the anime is really, really good, but obviously I just wouldn't... It's the third series, and the anime was a disaster because it was filler. And the manga has a lot more detail, a lot more depth, and you understand Kenshin a lot better in it, because it tells you a bit about his history and why he ends up becoming Rurouni. Like, you see all these other, people that were in the Meiji, and they had those wars, and now they've got, prominent places in government and so on, and you're like, well, why didn't Kenshin do that? Or you look at the other Batosais who, or the other Manslayers, I should say, the other Manslayers, who just sat there and, like, they've gone so the other way. Like, they've absolutely, I'm going to start destroying the world. One of them tries to take over the world. The other one seems to just enjoy killing for the hell of it. And you see, well, what made Kenshin the way he was rather than everything else. Another interesting, what I think is a very, very interesting character is Saito. This is Saito. Now, he was in the Shinsengumi, who fought directly against Kenshin. Hence, you can see here, they fought directly against Kenshin. But obviously, later on, in this time, like in the manga, they team up on so many occasions, and it makes you think that, even though people saw differences then, there is improvements now. It's always really good. And you have Aoshi, which I can't bother taking out. But yeah, Aoshi seems to have that thing where he loses everything, and then he comes back up. So I think the character development here is absolutely amazing. It's very, very good. As is the storylining and the pacing. It's definitely one I'd recommend. It's my first review, so I know it sounds awful, but if you put up with me for this long, thank you, and bye.